Welcome to About Mansfield. It is your audio newspaper. I'm Steve Casillo, broadcasting from the Cellmark Studios, along with the About Mansfield news team. Colleen Daniel, she's out there in Studio West. This is the August 27th, 2025, 286th edition. Coming up, it's Mansfield News, Talk, and Information.
And a little later in the episode, you will have a chance to win a $25 gift card to a Mansfield restaurant of your choice with our Mansfield trivia question, courtesy of Joe Jenkins Insurance.
Let's take a look at the stories we're covering this week.
Lake Ridge Jr. fights cell phone ban with online petition.
Geyer Commons starts our conversation in a moment with the mayor.
Mission Center calls for donations of essentials.
Ripley's acquires Hawaiian Falls in Mansfield.
Mansfield ISD trustee selected for statewide leadership program.
And in sports, Friday Night Lights starts this week, and North Texas SC falls short.
And in the talk segment, Steve takes us on a trip to Tulsa to talk rock and roll with the church studio owner, Teresa Knox. We are Mansfield's only source for news, talk, and information. This is About Mansfield.
Hey there, it's Luke from Cool Hand Electric. Are you tired of dealing with plugs or lights that just won't cooperate? Well, don't fret. Give us a call. Worried about power outages or surges damaging your precious electronics? We've got you covered. Whether it's a whole house generator or surge protection, our solution-oriented Cool Hands are ready to tailor the perfect option that suits your needs and budget. At Cool Hand Electric, excellence is still cool.
Cool Hand, Cool Hand, Cool Hand, where excellence is still cool.
This summer, be the super parent of the season with the Hawaiian Falls Staycation Splash Pass. For just $49.99, get unlimited visits to your home park all summer long. Skip the hassle of travel. It's time for heart-racing slides, relaxing lazy rivers, wave pool adventures, and unforgettable memories right in your own backyard. All of the fun, none of the fuss. Make this the summer they'll never forget with the Staycation Splash Pass from Hawaiian Falls. Get yours now at hfalls.com. That's hfalls.com.
Looking for a night out that's anything but ordinary? Step into Vault Seafood and Steakhouse, Mansfield's premier upscale dining experience. Savor perfectly aged steaks, fresh seafood, and handcrafted cocktails, all served in a stunning atmosphere. Want more? Enjoy private dining rooms and a cigar lounge for that extra touch of luxury. Vault delivers exceptional flavor in a one-of-a-kind atmosphere. Located at Matlock and Country Club, Vault Seafood and Steakhouse. Unforgettable nights. Unmatched taste.
Hi, I'm Matt Denny, General Manager of North Texas Soccer Club, and you're listening to About Mansfield.
Welcome back to About Mansfield. This portion of the news is brought to you by Vault Seafood and Steakhouse.
A Lake Ridge High School junior is drawing statewide attention with a petition challenging Texas's new ban on personal electronic devices in schools. 16-year-old Celia Goodlow launched her online petition in June after lawmakers passed legislation prohibiting students from using cell phones, smartwatches, tablets, and similar devices on campus. Since then, her effort has gathered more than 145,000 signatures on change.org, elevating her voice as one of the leading student perspectives on the issue. Goodlow says she started the petition to highlight the role that phones and other devices play in student safety, learning, and communication. She argues that the ban limits students' ability to reach family members in emergencies, citing school safety concerns. She also points to academic uses, noting that some educational resources are blocked on district-issued devices but available on personal ones. Her concerns reflect broader conversations across the state as families and educators adjust to the new rules, which were intended to reduce distractions in classrooms. Supporters of the legislation say it allows students to focus on academics without the interruptions of constant phone use. Goodlow hopes lawmakers will reconsider the measure in light of student input. While no changes to the law have been announced, Goodlow's petition has put Mansfield ISD on the map in the statewide discussion.
The Mansfield City Council held a regularly scheduled meeting on Monday evening. The following opinions, those of Michael Evans, may not necessarily reflect those of the Mansfield City Council, as we do every other Tuesday morning. Top of the morning, Mayor Michael Evans.
Top of the morning to you, sir. It's good to be here.
And you went out for a little rest and relaxation between council meetings.
Oh, yes, I did. We went to Alaska.
Nice.
That was beautiful. I tell you what, you learn to love nature and just the wonders of the Creator. I mean, it was beautiful. Good time to relax, but it's good to be back home, too. And now I miss Mansfield.
The one little takeaway from Alaska, what was your favorite?
You know what? The one little takeaway from Alaska is that it is a beauty that I think is preserved in time. But if we don't do our part as human beings regarding stewardship of this earth, we're going to lose a great treasure.
Speaking of treasures, let's get into the council meeting.
Yes.
We started with Geyer Commons.
We started with Geyer Commons, which is going to become a local treasure, my friend. During our work session, council, we heard an update on Geyer Commons and really the new exciting public space, which it's going to feature a cottage market. Geyer Commons is going to become the gateway to our downtown. And the team behind this exciting project, Steve, they held 2 open houses, and I understand that you participated in one of them.
I was there.
Listen, that resulted in close to 50 vendor applications. Listen, and our vendor selection process is going to begin soon, and we really can't wait until our December grand opening. So think Christmas holidays. It's going to be spectacular, and we're excited about it. And listen, I just want the listening public to know that we have a Mansfield first mindset, and we're hoping that people from Mansfield live, work, love, play in Mansfield, that they will be a part of that group that utilizes those cottages for incubator space for their new businesses.
For those who don't know about Geyer Commons, where is it located?
Geyer Commons is located at East Broad and Walnut Creek. It's the old admin building area there for MISD, where Geyer Field was located and is going to be enhanced, by the way. So it is right there. We're keeping that beautiful white gazebo and all of that, boy, but we're bringing in some great water features. It's going to be kind of like a old town kind of setup, similar to what you've seen in Midlothian, man. But it's going to be spectacular.
7, count them, 7 consent agenda items, as we say. Let's touch on the sexy ones.
Let's touch on the sexy ones. All right. So we had an ordinance amendment updating the city manager's signatory authority for expenditures to revised. We revised the threshold, and what we did was we moved our ordinance in line with the new state code, so giving our city manager the opportunity to conduct business on a daily basis. Also, a new master fee schedule for fiscal year 25-26, covering most fees for residents, developers, and businesses. We did all of that. That will take effect on October the 1st, so folks, look out for that. We had a pair of resolutions approving changes to Phase 1A and 1B for the ongoing construction of Geyer Commons. We're talking about it again. Allowing the completion of work on the 12 market cottages. And again, we just want to make sure that it's good insulated space. And for those who work in the cottages, that they'll have a little restroom in there for themselves. All of that stuff is important. And also a resolution approving the contract for Mansfield's first large-scale public artwork. That's coming. And we're excited to unveil this piece with the opening of the upcoming animal care and control facility. That's going to take place next spring. That's going to be exciting as well. Also, a resolution for our upcoming Water Mill District area in downtown Mansfield, which includes new deadlines for construction that will keep our city's focus on the future. So those are the things that we covered in regard to our consent agenda items. And, one of the things that I can say about that, too, my friend, is the fact that we talk about those and we invite the public to always offer their opinion on them during citizens' comments. We want to hear from you, and that's important for us.
What's going on with the Stabled Street District? Anything going on with that?
Yeah, it is. I'm wondering if people are taking that drive down Heritage and over near National Parkway and Hawaiian Falls, and they're seeing, the stands go up for that new sports stadium. It is just happening so fast. Folks are now able to start purchasing season tickets. Yeah. That starts on today, the day of our recording. But a lot's happening over there at Stabled. So council approved the service and assessment plan for the district, aligning with our strategic priority on building strong neighborhoods. Council also heard the first 2 public hearings regarding the upcoming fiscal year 25-26 budget and tax rate adoption information. Again, we're going to have 2 public hearings. We only by statute, have to have 1 public hearing because we are lowering the tax rate. I'll say it again. We are lowering it, but we're going to have 2. Again, it's always good to get public input. That is important for us. So we say to folks, come talk to us about it. It is important. So that was the public hearing. But now we also had some new business, believe it or not.
Yep.
Now, here's the new business portion of our meeting. So we awarded a pair of contracts, listen to this, for Elizabeth Lane paving and sidewalk improvements and sidewalk, fence, and traffic signal improvements, also along Daymire Road between the city of Mansfield and the city of Grand Prairie. Now, did you hear what I said? We're talking about cooperation between municipalities, Mansfield and Grand Prairie, similar to the kind of partnership we had with Mansfield and Arlington in regard to Turner Warnell. So
Sure.
We're working together with our folks throughout the community.
And you concluded with the fun stuff, the budget.
Yes, of course, we concluded with the budget. Always investing in our city. We're blessed because we have a growing city, and in order for us to keep up with the growth, we know that we have to spend money. In particular, for our police, fire, our first responders. That's where the bulk of our budget is spent. In those places, because public safety is number 1,
Yep.
and infrastructure maintenance and just the development of infrastructure is also very important. So, hey, that's what we did, and we're still moving forward. And let me thank Troy Listina and his entire team, because once again, they were awarded for the top-notch work that they do and produced 38 years consecutively. Those guys have done that. And again, we delivered a balanced budget, sir.
That's amazing.
It is amazing.
When you think about the amount of dollars that the city has to work with, to balance that budget is truly amazing.
It is. I mean, and just keep in mind, you look at the expenditures. Mansfield, since December 2020, when I was originally elected, has grown about 15,000 residents in the last 5 years. You think about that, 15,000 residents, and that's a conservative estimate from the Council of Governments. I mean, so it's mind-boggling how we're growing and really how things are coming together. We appreciate, we wouldn't be able to do it without the residents in our great city and without cooperation from good folks.
There you go. Mr. Mayor, you look happy, you look healthy, you look rested. Welcome back, and we call that a moment with the mayor. Go forward. We'll see you in a couple of weeks.
I will see you soon, and you take care, sir.
The Mansfield Mission Center is asking for donations of personal care items to help families in need. Families who receive SNAP, the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, can use benefits to buy groceries, but not items like shampoo, deodorant, razors, or diapers. The Mission Center says these items bring comfort and dignity to families during difficult times. Current needs include size 5 and 6 diapers, shampoo for all hair types, men's and women's deodorant, and disposable razors. Donations can be dropped off at the Linda Nix Clinic at 901 West Broad Street, Monday through Wednesday from 8 to 4 and Thursday through Friday from 8 to noon. Items can also be shipped directly to the Mission Center on Regency Parkway in Mansfield.
Ripley's Believe It or Not World Entertainment is expanding its presence in Texas with the purchase of 3 Hawaiian Falls water parks, including the 13-acre location right here in Mansfield. The Mansfield Park has been a long-time summer spot for families, offering water slides, a lazy river, wave pool, and children's splash zones. Recent additions include Turtle Bay, a calmer play area, and Ohana Hall, a space designed for family gatherings and community events. Hawaiian Falls was previously owned by Pro Parks Attractions Group, which bought the parks in 2017 and oversaw improvements in operations and attendance. Ripley's says the acquisition adds to its portfolio of more than 100 attractions worldwide, which also includes Great Wolf Lodge Water Park in Niagara Falls, Canada. The Mansfield Park remains open on weekends and select dates through September 14th. Season passes for 2026 are now available, covering the remainder of this year and next season at all 3 Hawaiian Falls locations. This is Ripley's first water park acquisition in North Texas.
And finally, we say congratulations to Mansfield ISD Board President Dr. Benita Reed, who has been chosen for the Leadership TASB Class of 2026. The Texas Association of School Boards selected Dr. Reed as just one of 32 trustees in the state out of a pool of more than 7,000 trustees that serve on local boards. Leadership TASB is considered the premier training program for school board trustees in Texas. Dr. Reed will represent Mansfield ISD as part of the year-long leadership development program.
Friday Night Lights this weekend, and North Texas SC stumbles at home. We'll talk about it because sports is next.
This summer, be the super parent of the season with the Hawaiian Falls Staycation Splash Pass. For just $49.99, get unlimited visits to your home park all summer long. Skip the hassle of travel. It's time for heart-racing slides, relaxing lazy rivers, wave pool adventures, and unforgettable memories right in your own backyard. All of the fun, none of the fuss. Make this the summer they'll never forget with the Staycation Splash Pass from Hawaiian Falls. Get yours now at hfalls.com. That's hfalls.com.
Hungry for bold flavor and a good time? Head on over to El Primo's to enjoy sizzling fajitas and their signature blue margarita. Enjoy weekend live entertainment and let the kids run wild with an outdoor play area and arcade. Planning a party? Multiple private rooms are available, including the all-new Parrot's Nest to make your event a success. Food, fun, and flavor for the whole family at El Primo's. Visit elprimos.net and bring your appetite. Located at Matlock and Country Club. El Primo's, where the locals go.
In sports, it's that time of year, sports fans, as the lights point toward the football field for Friday Night Lights. We're talking high school football, marching bands, cheerleaders, boosters, and of course, you, the fans. The schedule is out for this weekend's games. They are Thursday, Lake Ridge travels to Frisco Reedy, while Timberview is on the road to Dallas Kimball. Friday night, Legacy travels to Justin to take on Northwest. Summit versus Louisville at R.L. Anderson Stadium, and your Mansfield Tigers take on Mesquite Horn at Newsom Stadium. All games kick off at 7 p.m. Elsewhere, North Texas SC fell 4-0 to Los Angeles FC2 Sunday night at Choctaw Stadium. An early red card to midfielder Caleb Swan put North Texas at a one-man disadvantage, but managed to keep LA scoreless in the first half. Midfielder Diego Garcia reached a milestone with his 62nd appearance for North Texas, tying him with the second all-time in club history. And despite the red card, Caleb Swan also continued his streak as the only player to appear in every match this season. The loss puts North Texas at 8 wins, 10 losses, and 4 draws on the season, currently in 9th place. North Texas returns to action on Sunday when they will travel to face Ventura County. And of course, you can see all of North Texas soccer action right here in Mansfield beginning in the 2026 season. And that, my friends, is a look at sports. If you have a comment about the show, the news, whatever's on your mind locally, the good, the bad, the ugly, you know you can reach us by voicemail at 817-435-2938. Think of it as your audio letter to the editor, 817-435-2938. 2938. This coming Sunday, August 31st, is National Eat Outside Day. It's a simple but joyful celebration of dining al fresco. Whether it's a picnic in the park, a meal on your balcony, or lunch under a shady tree, the day is all about enjoying food with fresh air and sunshine. You know, scientists say that eating outdoors can boost your mood, reduce stress, and even make your meal taste better. So pack your favorite sandwich, grab a blanket, or perhaps find a restaurant with a fabulous patio, and savor your food surrounded by nature. It's the perfect reminder that sometimes the best seasoning is a little bit of sunshine and a gentle breeze.
Coming up after the break, we turn the page to the features section.
I'm Angel Biasatti, and today we're diving into an important topic for families as the school year kicks off. And we'll talk about it on Methodist Mansfield News to Know.
In this week's Cocktail of the Week, we're reimagining a classic cocktail with a late summer twist by taking our favorite melon to the grill that pairs perfectly with America's most beloved whiskey.
We talk with a city executive in this week's 40 Under 40.
We are Mansfield's only source for news, talk, and information. I'm Colleen Daniel, and this is About Mansfield.
This portion of the news was brought to you by El Primo's, where the locals go.
Hey there, it's Luke from Cool Hand Electric. Are you tired of dealing with plugs or lights that just won't cooperate? Well, don't fret. Give us a call. Worried about power outages or surges damaging your precious electronics? We've got you covered. Whether it's a whole house generator or surge protection, our solution-oriented Cool Hands are ready to tailor the perfect option that suits your needs and budget. At Cool Hand Electric, excellence is still cool.
Cool hand, cool hand, cool hand, where excellence is still cool.
At Methodist Mansfield Medical Center, we've been caring for our home team for over 15 years. Today, you'll find award-winning physicians on the medical staff, advanced neurosurgery, a Level 3 trauma center, critical care for newborns, and comprehensive orthopedic care. Methodist Mansfield, delivering the care our friends, neighbors, and home team depend on. That's community, and why so many people trust Methodist.
Congratulations to Tiffany Mache, who is able to list at least 3 of our sponsors. When we come back, this week's trivia question. I'm Colleen Daniel, and this is About Mansfield.
Hi, this is Joe Jenkins with Joe Jenkins Farmers Insurance, specializing in auto, home, commercial, and life insurance. I was born and raised here in Mansfield, Texas. We're active in the community, and Mansfield's a town we really care about. Our office has over 30 years' experience in the insurance industry, and we're passionate about what we do and about customer service. For a free quote, please visit our website at joejenkinsinsurance.com or give us a call at 817-472-6058. Once again, that website is joejenkinsinsurance.com.
It is time right here, right now for the highly coveted, wildly popular About Mansfield trivia question. If you are the first person to email the correct answer to trivia@aboutmansfield.com, you will receive a $25 gift card to a Mansfield restaurant of your choice. It's brought to you by Joe Jenkins Insurance. Whether you're looking for homeowners, auto, commercial, or any other type of insurance, Joe has helped Mansfield area residents understand the insurance coverage that best fit their needs since 2010. You can find him on the internet at joejenkinsinsurance.com. Colleen, it's your turn.
Well, Steve, this week's question is fairly simple for those connected in the Mansfield ISD community, or those who know how to use Google well. This week's trivia question is simply, in what year was Superintendent Dr. Kimberly Cantu hired by the Mansfield ISD? Email your answer to trivia@aboutmansfield.com. Again, in what year was Dr. Cantu hired by the Mansfield ISD? Good luck, and thanks to Joe Jenkins Insurance for the gift card.
Hi, this is Mansfield ISD Superintendent Dr. Kimberly Cantu, and you're listening to About Mansfield.
Welcome back to About Mansfield, your audio newspaper. Let's open up the features section. Angel Biasatti is here to talk about healthy school day meals to pack for the kiddos in Methodist Mansfield News to Know. Angel?
Today we're talking about something every parent thinks about this time of year: healthy lunchbox hacks, nutritious and easy ideas you can make ahead. Packing lunch for your child doesn't have to be stressful or time-consuming. With a little planning, you can create balanced, tasty meals that keep your kids energized and focused throughout the school day. Here are some simple ideas to try. DIY Lunchables. Use whole grain crackers, lean protein like turkey or cheese slices. Add fresh veggies like cucumbers or cherry tomatoes. Mason jar salads. Layer colorful vegetables, protein like grilled chicken or beans, and a simple vinaigrette at the bottom. When it's time to eat, just shake it up. Wrap it up. Whole wheat tortillas filled with hummus, shredded chicken, and crunchy veggies makes a tasty, portable lunch. Snack boxes combine hard-boiled eggs, fruit slices, nuts or seeds, and a little treat like dark chocolate chips for a fun, balanced box. And my favorite, PB&J. Nothing better than a good PB&J to send you off to school. For breakfast or snack, try overnight oats with fresh fruit or yogurt parfaits with granola and berries. Make them the night before, and your mornings are easy. Remember, hydration is key too. Include a bottle of water and encourage your child to drink throughout the day. By prepping a few things ahead of time, you can save yourself some stress and give your child a lunch they'll love, and that supports their health and learning. That's all for today's episode of Methodist Mansfield News to Know. I'm Angel Biasatti reporting for the About Mansfield podcast.
Shaken or stirred, you know it's going to be good as Brian Certain serves up a classic cocktail with a late summer twist in this week's Cocktail of the Week. Brian?
Today's cocktail is the grilled watermelon old fashioned. Yes, you heard me right. We have gone into the fruit world with our old fashions, and you will never be the same. It's an innovative twist on the classic that transforms the sweet summer watermelon through the magic of fire and smoke. By grilling watermelon, we're going to concentrate its flavors and caramelize its natural sugars, creating a complex sweetener that pairs beautifully with bourbon's richness. This cocktail bridges the refreshing character of summer with the warming comfort of bourbon, which is perfect for those late August evenings when we're savoring the season's final moments. What makes this cocktail special? First, bourbon, 2 ounces per cocktail. Choose a robust bourbon with a good backbone, something in the 90 to 100 proof range with notable caramel and vanilla notes. Something like Knob Creek, Woodford Reserve, or Four Roses Small Batch Select are excellent choices. The bourbon provides the foundation of its rich, complex flavors that will stand up to the caramelized watermelon notes. Second, grilled watermelon. And we're going to take this and we're going to make an infused syrup with it. This is our star ingredient, and this is what makes this old-fashioned unique. Grilling transforms watermelon's simple sweetness into something much more complex, concentrating the sugars, adding the caramelization, and imparting subtle smoke notes that complements bourbon's oak character beautifully. Aromatic bitters, 2 to 3 dashes per cocktail. Angostura are traditional for the old-fashioned and work wonderfully here. My personal preference is going to be the chicory and pecan bitters, though orange bitters make a nice addition as well. The bitters add depth and complexity, helping to integrate the bourbon and the watermelon flavors. Orange peel. This is for garnish and to add the aromatic oils. The essential oil from the orange peel provides a bright citrus aroma that lifts the cocktail and complements both the bourbon and the watermelon. Then ice. We're going to go special here. We're going to use 1 large clear ice is ideal. It melts slowly, preventing dilution while keeping the drink properly chilled. The traditional vessel for an old-fashioned is the old-fashioned glass. Who knew? Also, sometimes it's called a rocks glass or a lowball glass. So how are we going to do the grilled watermelon syrup? We're going to do this ahead of time. You can do it to a day to a week ahead of time. It'll hold in the refrigerator just fine. The flavors will just get better. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to cut up a small watermelon into 1-inch thick slices. Then you're going to heat your grill to medium high, about 400 degrees. Then place your watermelon slices directly on the grill grates and grill for 2 to 3 minutes per side until the grill grate marks appear and the flesh begins to caramelize. Remove from the grill, let it cool slightly, cut away the rind, and chop the grilled flesh into chunks. Add the grilled watermelon to a blender or a food processor with an equal amount of sugar by weight. For example, 1 cup of grilled watermelon, 1 cup of sugar. Then you're going to blend it until it's smooth and then strain through a fine mesh sieve. Then transfer to a saucepan, heat gently, stir until the sugar is completely melted and dissolved. And then cool completely and transfer to a jar or a bottle, and this will keep in a refrigerator. I've kept mine for up to 2 weeks. For each cocktail, 1 large ice cube in an old-fashioned glass, 2 ounces of your choice of that really good high-proof bourbon, a ½ ounce of your grilled watermelon syrup, 2 to 3 dashes of your favorite Angostura bitters or aromatic bitters, and then stir gently. Cocktails like this are not shaken. They are gently stirred. There's something about brown spirits and stirring cocktails that allows you to bring out all the qualities in the proper way. You're going to stir this for about 30 seconds to dilute the cocktail. Then cut a swath of orange peel, making sure to include some of the white pith, and then express the oil from the orange peel by twisting it over the surface of the cocktail. If you become really good at this, you can actually flame the orange as you're expressing it, and it becomes a show as well. Then take that peel and rim the glass to further enhance the aromatic experience. Then drop the peel in the cocktail as a garnish. Optionally, you can use small cubes of grilled watermelon on a cocktail pick for visual impact and to hint at the flavors within. The grilled watermelon old-fashioned takes summer's most beloved fruit and elevates it through the transformative power of fire, creating a sophisticated cocktail that's both familiar and innovative. It's the perfect way to bridge the gap between summer refreshment and the warming comfort of bourbon. As always, I'm open to hear your take and your input. You can reach me at brian@bourbongospel.com. And until next week, as Mark Twain famously said, too much of anything is bad, but too much whiskey is barely enough. Reporting for the About Mansfield podcast, I'm Brian Certain, and you're still not.
The Mansfield Business Alliance has recently released their list of 40 under 40. Now, these are 40 people under the age of 40 who are entrepreneurs, they're CEOs, they're everyday people just like you and me. And today in the studio, we have one of those 40 under 40. She is a prominent figure in Mansfield, serving as the assistant director for the Mansfield Economic Development Corporation, or MEDC, where she oversees marketing strategies and innovation initiatives aimed at attracting and retaining businesses in Mansfield, and is the Historic Downtown Program Coordinator, in which she collaborates with various city departments to preserve and enhance the unique character of historic downtown Mansfield. We welcome Rachel Bagley to About Mansfield.
Thank you, Steve.
It's a pleasure having you here. And first of all, congratulations on being a 40 under 40.
Thank you so much.
Where were you when you received the email saying, congratulations, you are one of the chosen one?
Where was I? I think I was at home, and Joe Jenkins, he called me to tell me.
Oh, he called you?
Yeah. And which I appreciated. He was excited. I could hear it in his voice. He was excited to tell me. And it was obviously really nice to hear.
What prompted you to now becoming a leader? Did that just fall on your lap, or is this something when you were younger, maybe going through college or what have you, that I'm going to be a leader in what I do?
Well, I first think about my dad. So my dad, he's a football coach. He worked for University of Washington for a long time. Then he coached for the Seahawks. But on the side of that, he was into powerlifting, and it was just an obsession. And his work ethic you've just never seen anything like it. He would break world record after world record. I mean, he holds, I can't even tell you how many. When he was 62 years old, he bench pressed 1,040 pounds at 62 years old and got the all-time world record for it. So I say that to say from a very young age, my dad was so intentional about instilling work ethic in me. And I mean, he goes around and he's a motivational speaker to people, and he's a mentor to hundreds of people. But he gets to be my dad, you know, or I get to have him as my dad. And so, it's just, I've always had like this motivational speaker as my father figure. And he's just always instilled for me from a really young age to show up as a leader, to serve others, to serve my community. And so I think that's like kind of where that started. I've just had really great examples, not just from him, but my mom too, who's a rock star in the healthcare industry. But I kind of got my start in economic development. I guess I started first. I moved to Texas from Virginia. I moved to Texas in 2016, but before that, I managed optometry clinics in Virginia. I was a practice manager over two clinics in two different cities. I was like 23 years old, and I was having to manage everyone from like techs to opticians to doctors at 23. And that was very intimidating.
Now you're married.
Yes.
And you have a child.
I have 2 kids.
You have 2 kids. Okay. So let's talk about, because I know MEDC keeps you busy, work-life balance. How do you work those 12-hour days and still be a mom and a wife?
Yeah. So I've only been a mom for a little over 3 years now. I have a 2 and 3-year-old, and I've learned really quickly that no matter what, mom guilt is real no matter what. And no matter how much time I'm giving to work or giving to home, I feel a pull that I need to give more in either place. I'm never at either place enough. I'm never doing enough at either place. That's just always there. And I think every mom, probably every parent feels that way, but I'm really lucky that with Mansfield, City of Mansfield, with MEDC, they are really family oriented.
Yeah.
And they don't just say family comes first, like they truly mean family comes first. They're so supportive, and they really support having a work-life balance. And so they make it really easy. I have not always had that experience with places that I've worked.
Oh, yeah.
So it's really nice. Yeah. And then on the other side, my family is very supportive of my work. My husband has always been my biggest cheerleader, always. And so no matter what, if I'm like, we've got a board meeting tonight, I've got to work late, it is always met with, okay, honey, take your time. There's no rush. You come home as late as you need to. I've got the kids. Yeah, always. It's so great.
To get where you are today, who are some of your influences?
Well, I talked about my dad.
Yeah.
He's a big influence. When I worked at the Louisville Chamber, I was the VP there for 3 years. I started out, we had different leadership. That leadership had to transition out. I had to be interim for a while, and that was stressful. But then we brought in someone named Lori Fickling, who I learned a lot from. She, first of all, working for a chamber is such a cool experience because, you don't go to college and someone say, oh, I'm going to work for a chamber after this. But the really neat thing about it is that you get exposed to so many different things. You're exposed to city government, to obviously the community businesses, to nonprofits. You get an intimate look at how those operate, and education and lobbying from a local level to a state level to even a federal level. And we do DC fly-ins, and you just get exposed to so many things. Your fundraising, your event planning. We moved here and I had no family here. So they were kind of like my family. They took care of me when I was pregnant with my first Collins. And it it was just amazing. But all of those community leaders there were very inspiring to me. I learned so much there. I got to know the commissioners, the mayors, the economic development leaders like Jason. And they were all very inspiring to me. And it opened my eyes to how I can be a community leader, how I can serve and impact my community. I feel like that was a really eye-opening role for me.
Let's go back in time.
Okay.
If you were to today meet 8-year-old Rachel.
That's pretty easy. I would tell her to speak up. Your opinion matters. Your ideas matter. I think for whatever reason, women are often, or girls are often kind of told not to be too opinionated. And so we dampen ourselves. A lot of us do. But I have learned that over my however many year career, 15, I don't remember how, but that it serves me well when I speak up. I never regret it. People appreciate it. And so that's taken me a long time to learn, and I still need to work on it even today. But yeah, I think that's probably the advice I would give. Speak up.
I'm going to give you an open mic to, if you have anybody you want to thank or to shout out or give an opinion or be a voice, the microphone is yours.
Thanks, Steve. Well, first, thank you for having me on this podcast.
Absolutely.
It's so nice to finally do this after being here for a couple of years now, almost 3 years. But just thanks to Mansfield Business Alliance for not just for having me a part of the 40 Under 40, but for all the really amazing things that they're doing for our business community. They are change makers, and they are really dedicated to making a difference and supporting and advocating for our businesses. So Joe Jenkins, Winoka, the entire board, definitely want to shout out to them. Shout out to my team at MEDC, Jason and Natalie and Mitzi. And shout out to my hubby, Travis, and my kids, Collins and Ellis.
Aw, there you go. Congratulations, 40 Under 40. And we'll keep an eye on you as you keep climbing up the ladder and doing some great stuff here in Mansfield.
Thank you.
Thanks for being on About Mansfield.
Thanks, Steve.
We're back in 60 seconds with Steve's interview with the Church Studio owner, Teresa Knox.
Imagine a city where innovation knows no bounds, where dreams take flight, and the future unfolds before your very eyes. Welcome to Mansfield, a beacon of growth and a testament to vision. In the heart of Mansfield, a remarkable transformation is underway. But it's not just about the physical landscape. It's about the spirit that drives us forward. A spirit of collaboration that bridges cultures, a spirit of entrepreneurship that fuels prosperity, and a spirit of community that binds us as one. Mansfield is more than just a place. It's a canvas where diversity paints the picture of progress. From art festivals that ignite creativity to tech hubs that redefine boundaries, this city celebrates every voice, every passion. Mansfield, where growth knows no limits and the vision is limitless. Brought to you by the unstoppable spirit of the Mansfield Economic Development Corporation.
Hello. I'm Constable Sandra Lee, and you're listening to About Mansfield.
Welcome back to another segment of About Mansfield. I'm Steve Casillo as we make the transition from news to talk. And normally I say in the studio with me, but today, thanks to the interwebs, today's guest is remote, which means you can also watch the interview on our YouTube channel. Last month, and specifically the weekend of July 17th, my wife and I took a weekend road trip up to Tulsa. It's only about 4.5 hours from here. And we had heard about the cool music vibe. You know, you got Austin, you got Nashville. Well, you take some of that live music scene and maybe condense it down into a smaller community. And that's Tulsa. And that's exactly what we were looking for. We went to the Bob Dylan Museum. We went to the Woody Guthrie Center. We were enveloped in music history. But the gem of the weekend wasn't until we went to church. Now, this wasn't any old church. This church was built back in 1915. It was sold in 1972 and was renovated into the church studio. It's the holy grail of recording studios. While taking the tour, the docent stopped us to introduce us to a woman who just happened to be walking the halls. My guest today is that very woman. She is the founder and executive director of the church studio, in addition to being an entrepreneur, a philanthropist, and an innkeeper. Teresa Knox, welcome to About Mansfield.
Thank you, Steve. And it was so nice meeting you guys in Tulsa and getting to know you and a little bit more about your show. And I appreciate the invitation.
Before we get into this, I got to ask you a question. Have you ever gone to a restaurant where there's so much food on the table and it smells great, you're so excited to be there that you don't know where to start?
Yeah, I love.
Let's just say yes.
I love food, so I'm like, I would just go to town. But yes,
because I got to say, that's where I'm at with this interview. I'm like a kid in a candy store.
I love that.
Now, because you don't know this, but my listeners know that my side hustle is I'm a musician, and when it comes to 70s rock and roll, that's my wheelhouse. So when we're talking philanthropy, when we're talking community and building community, that's volunteering, it's my wheelhouse. So for those who do not know who Teresa Knox is, why don't you start with a little, this is who I am.
Well, where do I begin? It's probably not the most exciting story, but I am a native Tulsan. I was born here, and from a very young age, I have older siblings and just started collecting music memorabilia. So my very first Leon Russell item I collected when I was 8 years old, and it's a 7-Eleven Slurpee cup. And, you know, they used to, they had those in the mid-70s. They featured, I think, 44 of the top rock stars in America. And I thought it was so cool that someone from my hometown was on a Slurpee cup. And I just, you know, loved all the musicians that came from my hometown, in addition to Leon Russell, the Gab Band, and J.J. Cale. And I also like soft rock. So David Gates is from Tulsa as well, with the band Bread. And so that's really where my love for music started. And I've always just collected turntables and vinyl records. I have thousands of vinyl records. And but I started a business in my early 20s in higher education. I started a career in technical school. It started as a dental assistant school, and I grew it over a 2-decade period to having 3 campuses with 46 different programs, from welding and plumbing to healthcare to cosmetology, fashion, paralegal, veterinary, you name it, we offered it. So worked many years in workforce development, getting people, you know, from point A to point B. And I think that's pretty much the answer to all of our community elements, is having a job you can be proud of. I know when I became a dental assistant at the age of 18, it changed my life. It probably saved my life. I kind of grew up in drug, sex, rock and roll. Education wasn't a priority. It wasn't a requirement. So by the grace of God, I graduated from high school and entered into a technical school. And I just wanted to share that with others. And so I stepped away from that a decade ago. And that's when I impulsively purchased the church building that I'm sitting in today.
What year did you purchase the church studio?
So I purchased the church studio in 2016, and it was just a couple of months before Leon Russell passed away. It was kind of an impulse purchase. I've restored other older properties, and there's one nearby the church. And I hadn't been by here in many years, and found myself driving by as I was checking on the other construction site. And it was in just really rough shape. The windows were boarded up. There were a lot of trash around. And I just really disappointed in the shape that it was in. Contacted the owner, found the owner on the tax records, and we met, and we came to an agreement. I bought it sight unseen. He didn't show me the inside, didn't want to show it to me. But at that point, I was so obsessed with the idea of having Leon's church that I didn't care. So went to the title company, closed, and then walked in with the key for the first time.
Leon Russell was not the owner at the time you bought it.
No, there have been 5 owners between Leon Russell's ownership, which was 1972 to the late 70s to, current ownership. And during that time, another well-known Okie owned it by the name of Steve Ripley. And he had a band called The Tractors, and he had it for 19 years. But there were lots of different owners. And even during Leon's time, the church was in rough shape. So when I acquired it, my goal was to kind of save the building, work on the infrastructure and the foundation. And then I figured I would come up with some sort of sustainable business model, which is how we are operating today.
And the Tractors recorded their album there at the church studio.
Yeah, they recorded a lot here. Such a great album, and the Ripley family, they're so great. But they bought it. They didn't even buy it from Leon. They bought it in 87, and there was a different ownership at the time.
Let's go back to 1972. You're a native Tulsan. Did you know any of the people that recorded at the church studio? And obviously, Leon Russell was the owner, the original owner of the church. Did you know him or the people that recorded there?
Not really, not at the time. I'm 56, so I was born in 1969. I knew of them. I'm purely a fan. I didn't work in the music industry. Worked in, as I just shared with you, a very different industry. But later in my early 20s, when I was 21, I got a part-time job at a local club. So J.J. Cale did come through. I met Dwight Twilley. I met Jamie Oldacre. I met some other artists that had recorded during that 1972 to 1976, which really is the period of significance that we acknowledge a lot. And that's the period that qualified us for being on the National Register of Historic Places. But I did get to meet a lot of these people later. I've never met Leon Russell. Again, just became a fan at a really young age. And even before I bought the building, I had thousands of pieces of memorabilia, the majority of that centered around Leon Russell. And for the listeners, Leon Russell created or helped create what was called the Tulsa Sound, which is according to ChatGPT, a chilled out, rootsy blend of American music, equal parts bluesy, twangy, funky, and soulful, with a groove that never hurries, never shouts, but always hits home. Would you agree with that? Yeah, I think that's a decent description. There's a lot of country, rock, and gospel mixed in. Of course, J.J. Cale's style is very different than Leon Russell, but the first use of the name Tulsa Sound appears to be in 1972. And of course, that's such a pinnacle year in our history. And really, Leon Russell, he just put out the Carney album. He was really top of his game, one of the top touring artists in America, came back to his hometown of Tulsa, Oklahoma. Impulsively purchased the church because I kind of did it Leon style. And converted it into a recording studio and really home office to Shelter Records as well. So there are a lot of examples of the Tulsa Sound. Probably the biggest international example would be Eric Clapton. And Eric did spend a lot of time in Tulsa. He used Tulsa musicians. You also have Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. I mean, they got their start here. They were the band Mudcrutch, and they signed to Shelter Records, and you can really hear that sound. A lot of us locals consider it less of a sound and more of a camaraderie between musicians, a friendship of like-minded people that wanted to come together without the pressures and the stress of like an LA studio, for example. And it was really neat. The strategic model of Shelter Records, the artists would play on each other's albums. And,
well, even just the amount of rock royalty that played on Leon Russell's first album is amazing.
It is amazing. You have the Beatles on there, specifically George and Ringo. You have Steve Winwood. You have Mick Jagger.
Right. Half of the Rolling Stones played on Leon Russell's first solo album.
And it just goes to show you, Leon really was a master musician. He, gained huge reputation during his time in the Wrecking Crew, even though they didn't refer to themselves as the Wrecking Crew. But he played on everyone's album. He was so good. But he really gained huge attention when he partnered with Denny Cordell for the Joe Cocker Mad Dogs and Englishmen in 1969, 1970. And it really put him on the forefront. And then he followed that up very quickly with Concert for Bangladesh, again with George Harrison and our good friend Don Nix, who passed away this New Year's Eve, who wrote the song Going Down. He's the one that truly introduced Leon to George and Badfinger. And then a lot of Tulsa musicians were on that, just like Mad Dogs and Englishmen, Carl Radel on bass, Dick Sims, Jesse Ed Davis, Native American, fantastic guitarist, Chuck Blackwell on drums, Jim Keltner, probably the most recorded drummer of all time, is from Tulsa. And so, as a young person that collected music, it just made me so proud that all of these artists were from here and went on to superstardom and did some really amazing things.
And the story that the docent told during the tour that I took had mentioned that Leon Russell and Danny Cordell, when they partnered together to buy the church, they were actually eating at the restaurant right across the street.
Right. I was able to interview Leon's first common law wife, only common law wife. Her name was Carla Brown. His firstborn, Blue, is her mother. And I was able to interview her before she passed away. And the three of them were eating at the Ranch House Cafe, which today, if anyone from Tulsa is listening, is the Freeway Cafe. But they did not. Leon owned the studio 100%. So Denny was partners in the actual record label and Shelter Publishing Company, but he did not own the real estate with Leon. But you're right, it was very impulsive. They saw the church and they're like, hey, that would make a great studio. You had mentioned some names of people that have recorded there. Now, obviously, Eric Clapton was a big fan, or I guess still is a big fan of J.J. Cale with After Midnight and Cocaine and a couple other J.J. Cale songs. People who have recorded at the church studio, Willie Nelson, you mentioned Tom Petty, Bob Dylan, George Harrison, Bob Marley, Stevie Wonder, Bob Seger, Jimmy Buffett, Kansas, Asleep at the Wheel. The list goes on and on. George Thorogood, Texas's own Ray Wiley Hubbard has been there, just to name a few. Tell, because it also on the list, actor Gary Busey is also a musician. Yes. People don't think about Gary as being a musician, but he was Leon's drummer. They first met here at the church studio, and he was on a show called Mazeppa with the late Gaylord Sartain, who just passed away recently. And it's kind of a lot of people say it was the inspiration behind Saturday Night Live. It was a local show, but he went on the road with Leon, and in part, gave him the up on the Buddy Holly story that he did. And so, but Gary was born in Texas, but fourth grade on, grew up in Tulsa. He is part of what we call the Tulsa Sound. And man, he's a character. He's always in the news, even recently. And recently for? Oh, it was something bad. Yeah, it wasn't good, but he's, he'll be the first to tell you about his traumatic brain injury, but he was crazy and wild before the motorcycle accident, but he has a big heart. He has a huge love and admiration for Leon Russell, which I always, I know Gary really well, and so I've always admired that about him.
And as a result of owning the church studio, you wrote a book, and it's out.
Yes, you can buy it online at thechurchstudio.com. Just click the shop button. And again, it's called The Sanctuary of Sound. And it's really about the building's 110-year history. And so it starts with the early church, how the early, Oklahoma only became a state in 1907. So really going into how the church grew up with the city of Tulsa. And then I have a chapter on the conversion from being a church to being a recording studio. So I have some never before seen photos in the studio. We have some cool ones with Peter Tosh and so many other people in the studio. Of course, they didn't have phone cameras the way we do now, but I was just really fortunate to get my hands on some great photos over the past few years that I've owned the property. And then there's a whole chapter on Shelter Records. It was kind of a short-lived but very entrepreneurial record label. Then I have a chapter on Leon Russell, of course, and it's very biographical with his early years from being classically trained. I have some piano recital things to some of his major accomplishments. And then we have a chapter on the renovation. So some before photos. The building was in really, really rough shape, and you can see how dilapidated it was. The renovation took 6.5 years. And so I bought the building almost 10 years ago, but we've only been open for 3 years because of the lengthy renovation that it took to really save the building. And then we have a chapter on the studio today and the gear, featuring all of our analog gear. We have a museum quality microphone collection. We have a stunning console that belonged to Daniel Lanois that we restored to factory settings. We even have some limiter compressors that belonged to the late J.J. Kell that he had here in Tulsa in the 70s. So we brought them back home. We have the esteemed Fairchild 660, which is one channel compressor, very, very well known at Abbey Road Studios. But the live room, which is the original sanctuary of the church, is really kind of the holy grail of the studio because that's where the magic happens. It was a house of worship. And then again, it's just such a great place for all of the musicians to come together and record. And we can record up to, single solo artists up to an orchestra.
That's right. There was a solo artist that was recording on while the tour was going on. So we actually didn't get to go into the studio itself, but we could see from the room above the studio and the solo artist. He was just sitting there with his acoustic guitar. And actually, I had a chance to meet that artist as he was walking out of the studio. And he said he performed what do they call it? The Tunes at Noon?
Uh-huh.
Tunes at Noon, which is that every Saturday?
It's every Saturday, Tuesday, and Thursday. And we feature local artists and we pay them for the gig, but we also give them a recording grant as well. So a lot of them have never recorded in a professional studio environment. So it gives them experience, gets them comfortable with the engineers. And it's just something that we want to do to support our local musicians.
That is awesome. He said he recorded probably half a dozen songs. And
that's so great.
We're talking with the church studio owner, Teresa Knox, and we will continue said interview next week. Be sure to check it out as we will dig deeper into Tulsa. In the meantime, this is the place where you'll hear the latest Mansfield news, talk, and information. Until then, please do not forget to like, follow, subscribe, engage, connect, amplify, elevate, celebrate, embrace, explore, share, love, or support this podcast. If you haven't already, so you never miss an episode, it's free and it's easy. Head on over to our website, aboutmansfield.com. Enter your email address right there on the homepage. We will never, ever, 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 ever send you any spam. That is my personal promise to you.
About Mansfield is recorded at Podcast Mansfield Recording Studio. Hosts Steve Casillo and Colleen Daniel. Moment with the Mayor feature, Michael Evans. Methodist Mansfield News to Know, Angel Biasatti. Cultural Arts Calendar, Tim Roberts. Cocktail of the Week, Brian Certain. Post-production editing, mixing, and mastering, Steve Casillo and Andrew Miner.
This podcast is copyrighted by Podcast Mansfield Recording Studio and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this podcast without prior written consent is strictly prohibited. We thank you all for listening on behalf of the entire news team. I'm Steve Casillo. Hey, by the way, Monday, happy Labor Day. This is About Mansfield.